As you can see, we are back in my kitchen. We are taking a break from beauty for a classic what I eat in a day to maintain a healthy weight, a strong body, and glowing skin at age 66. Now, I've always tried to eat healthy, if a bit haphazardly. My philosophy has always been if I just focus on whole foods, especially vegetables and fruits, the rest would take care of itself. However, I have been reading more and more and more about how extra important protein is, especially as we're growing older, to maintain our muscle mass, our bones, not to mention hair, skin, and nails. So I've been more intentional, and today I'm going to share how I can easily get 80 to 100 grams of protein in a day simply by paying attention. All right, I just adjusted the lighting a little bit by turning off my overhead lights, which are really warm, and they were making my hair look way more golden than it actually is. But back to breakfast. You know, I am a breakfast person. I'm always hungry in the morning, so I do eat a very hearty breakfast. Wait a minute, before we get into the breakfast, I do want to share my beverages because I always forget to talk about my beverages. I must have my 2 cups of black coffee every single morning. I don't drink milk, I don't drink juice, I don't drink milk, juice, or soda. What I do love and drink every day is this mineral water that I get from Trader Joe's. This is amazing. This is from a specific geologic region of volcanic origin. It's naturally carbonated and has a high mineral content, so it's a good boost of both calcium and magnesium, and it's so yummy. And I really love tea, iced tea. Black iced tea, green iced tea. This Tiva brand is delicious. And I also love green tea, just iced tea, original, unsweetened green tea. And I really also enjoy kombucha. This is ginger, pineapple, really great boost of probiotics. But back to breakfast. So I alternate between steel-cut oats and eggs. About once a week, I make a sort of a big batch of organic steel-cut oats, and I just follow the directions. And then in the last, I don't know, 10 or so minutes of cooking, I add an entire chopped apple, lots of walnuts, and this is my batch for the week. I don't know, I have, I guess, about 3/4 of a cup of this, and then I top it with 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds, which is 10 grams of protein. Couple tablespoons of flax. Sometimes I add a little bit of granola for a little crunch and flavor. And of course, some organic yogurt, again, for protein. So even on the days that I'm not eating eggs, this oatmeal, doctored up with the hemp, the flax, the walnuts, and the yogurt, is 25 grams of protein, plus tons of fiber. But today I'm going to show you my favorite, I don't know, egg scramble. Okay, on to my egg scramble. You know, with every meal, I always try to include vegetables and or fruits. So in my scrambled eggs, I'm going to saute some onion, mushroom, a little yellow pepper, and we'll be adding broccoli. So I am going to preheat my pan. By the way, I'm using, oh my gosh, this pan is amazing. This is the, what is it called? Our Place Always pan, and it is non-stick, non-toxic ceramic, and they say it's 10 in 1. It comes with this little steamer, which I'm not going to be using right now. It is a fantastic pan. You can put the whole thing in the oven, and it is perfect for scrambled eggs because it truly, truly does not stick. I'm going to use just a little bit of olive oil to saute my veggies. Turn that on. And let's get these chopped up a little bit. and yellow pepper. You know, I love red, orange, and yellow peppers. And I bought a 3-pack, 1 red, 1 orange, 1 yellow. The red and the orange are my favorite. So now I have to use up the yellow, which is also good. I cannot eat green peppers. For some reason, they just completely wreck my stomach. But yellow, orange, or red are absolutely fine. I think it's because green peppers aren't ripened enough. Anyway, and some mushrooms. And then we will saute this. Oh my goodness, I should have thought this through. Let's throw this in there. I'm probably adding too many. But you can't have too many vegetables, right? And where is my spoon? Okay. And the Always pan also comes with this little spoon with this hole in it that fits perfectly right there. Again, really, really enjoy this. So we're going to give this just a few minutes to soften up. Okay, I don't know if you can hear it sizzle, but the onions and mushrooms are softened up. So let's go ahead. And I'm just going to roughly chop up the broccoli, and we will add this in as well. There we go. Again, let's throw that in there. Oh my gosh. Broccoli is one of my very favorite veggies. It's so, so good for us. So we will give that a moment. Couple of moments to cook down a little bit. Cover that. And while that is cooking down, let's put our egg mixture together. So I really only buy the pasture-raised eggs. These are also organic. I do get these at Trader Joe's. You know, I did a Trader Joe's haul a couple of months ago and said I couldn't find pasture-raised eggs there. Many of you told me, yes, they do carry it, so they must have been out that particular day. Yes, Trader Joe's does carry a pasture-raised eggs. And what this means, the chickens are just free to roam in a good-sized area. Cage-free is not the same as pasture-raised. These are definitely the healthiest eggs, and organic just means they have been fed only organic food. So I'm going to use 2 eggs. Oh my gosh, I'm not that great at cracking eggs. Okay, that went okay. So eggs have 7 grams of protein per egg. I have a lot of vegetables there, and 2 eggs isn't going to be quite enough to mix in with the vegetables. So I am adding some egg whites, mostly because I don't want to waste an egg yolk. And I'm going to add 1/4 cup of egg whites. And 1/4 cup is how many grams of protein? Is another 10 grams of protein. So that's pretty good. Lots of protein. And then I am also going to add some cottage cheese. So this has, in 1/2 cup, 14 grams of protein. I'm not going to need a whole 1/2 cup. Let's do, I'm going to eyeball it. I love cottage cheese. Always have a cottage cheese in the house. So let's say, I don't know, probably about 1/4 cup. The cottage cheese makes the scrambled eggs so incredibly creamy. And mix that up. A little bit of salt and pepper. I love pepper. And let's check on the broccoli mixture here. Okay, that needs just a couple more minutes for the broccoli to cook down just a little bit more. All right, let's see how the veggies are doing. Perfect. And actually a little bit on the brown side. And then we're going to add the egg mixture in. And by the way, I do use the cottage cheese is organic. I can't remember. It's probiotic rich. And I'm going to turn that up just a little bit. And really, this does not take long to cook. I don't like super hard cooked eggs, so I'm just going to give this a few minutes. Okay, and then while that is cooking, do you see how this wooden spoon sort of fits on that handle? While that's cooking, I am going to throw in some of my Ezekiel bread into the toaster. Oh my gosh, this is flourless bread. It's sprouted grain bread. It has 4 grams of protein per slice, 3 grams of fiber. So it's, somewhat low carb, high protein. Anyway, it's absolutely delicious, organic, non-GMO. Throw this in the toaster, and by the time this is done toasting, the eggs should be ready. And I do like a little bit of grass-fed pure Irish butter on the toast. Still a little bit of butter. Yum. And you can see it's very veggie heavy. That's a lot, but I can eat this whole thing. And this breakfast will hold me for hours. So this has, let's see, 7 grams of protein per egg, plus 10 for the egg white, plus 4. So 14, 28. This is over 30 grams of protein. And like I said, this will hold me for hours. Bon appetit. Now, I ate breakfast at around 9, and it is about 1:30 right now, and I'm really not super hungry, but I do want to show you one of my go-to lunches. If I'm feeling super lazy, one of my fastest, easiest go-to lunches are wild sardines mixed with a little avocado, crackers, high protein, super healthy fats, lots of omegas, and that will hold me for a while. That can be a good snack as well. But a lot of people don't find sardines super appetizing. So my other go-to is to take some wild Alaskan sockeye salmon and make a salmon salad, very similar to how you make a tuna salad. So this is packed in water. This is from Trader Joe's. There are 2 servings in this can. Each serving is a half a cup, and each serving has 19 grams of protein. It's also rich in vitamin D, and again, those really incredible omega-3 fatty acids. I do try to eat fish 3 or 4 times a week, and the easiest, fastest way is with, a salmon salad or sardines. So I'm just going to whip together my go-to salmon salad. And I have already pre-cut some of my vegetables. So we are going to add in some red onion chopped, some celery chopped. Oh my gosh, messy, messy, messy. And again, I love my yellow pepper, although I wish it was red, just for the color. And I also like to add in some pickles. These are little baby dill pickles. Now, I do not love mayonnaise, which is probably a good thing because it's not that great for you. I just don't like it. I haven't bought mayonnaise literally in years. So how I make my salmon salad is with yogurt. Plain, unsweetened, unflavored, organic yogurt. And we'll just add about that much in, and to give it a little bit of a tartness, some lemon juice. And let's mix that up. You can add whatever seasonings you want. Dill would be delicious, although I don't have any dill. Garlic, of course. It's as easy as that. Now, this is better the longer it sits in the refrigerator because the flavors sort of meld together. But for lunch today, you could put this on a salad, you could put it on a sandwich or a wrap. Because I'm not super hungry, I'm gonna have it with these Trader Joe's Seeds and Greens crisp bread. These are a Norwegian cracker, and one cracker has 4 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber, and only 10 grams of carbohydrate, so it's a net carb of 7 grams. And these are really delicious. So lunch is going to be a couple of crackers and some of this. I'm sort of measuring, I think that's probably between 1/4 and 1/2 cup. And with the yogurt, that's probably 10 grams of protein, 4, that's 18 grams of protein. Throw in an apple or an orange, and I have a fast, easy, super healthy lunch with plenty left for another day or two. And like I said, the longer this stays in the refrigerator within reason, after a day, the flavors meld and it's absolutely delicious. Now it's late afternoon and normally I don't eat dinner until about 6 or 6:30. But if I wait much longer, I'm gonna lose all my natural daylight. So I am going to pre-prep my dinner. Now, normally on a daily basis, I have either a green smoothie or a veggie-based soup or a salad. I didn't have a green smoothie today, and I'm really not, it's sort of spring-like feeling, and I just don't feel like having soup, so salad it is. I will link my green smoothie and my soup videos in the description box below. Anyway, for my salad, of course, I'm starting with greens. I love arugula. I love the tangy, tart flavor, and this is organic baby arugula. Nice big handful of that. And I did pick up the other day from Whole Foods. This is their kale Brussels slaw. And this actually has 5 grams of protein in it. So I'm gonna throw that in there. What else? As far as protein, these Trader Joe's shelled edamame, they're pre-cooked and pre-seasoned, and they have a 1/2 cup has 9 grams of protein and 6 grams of fiber. So we're going to boost the protein with the edamame. But for a real protein boost, I'm going to go with Trader Joe's sliced roasted chicken turkey breast. Oh my gosh, this is so delicious, and it's great to keep on hand for sandwiches, a snack, or a salad. Now they say 3 slices is 22 grams of protein. I think that's too much for my salad. So I have 2 slices here. I'm just going to sort of chop it up. Nice protein boost for our salad. And throw that in there. Let's see what else. I eat an avocado literally every single day. Believe it or not, 1 avocado has 4 grams of protein and a whopping 13 grams of fiber. Yes, it is a little bit high in fat, but they are healthy fats. And like I said, I eat at least 1 avocado a day. So we're going to toss this in the salad. And the whole thing, love it. It adds such a richness. Oh my gosh. You know, growing up, I would visit my family in California and they had an avocado tree, and I just fell in love with avocados, and I've literally been eating an avocado a day, probably for 30 years. Okay, what else do we have? Just whatever else you happen to have. I'm gonna throw some tomatoes and some chopped pepper on there. And of course, nuts. 1/4 cup of organic walnuts has 4 grams of protein. I should have chopped these up, so I'm just going to sort of crumble them up. So this salad has 36 grams of protein, plenty of antioxidants, and tons of fiber. I don't know if I said, but the edamame has 6 grams of fiber. The avocado has 13 grams. I don't know, tons of fiber. Now, because I'm not going to eat this right, look at that beautiful color. Because I'm not going to eat this right now, I'm not going to dress it. So just put whatever dressing you like on it. Sometimes I just put a little olive oil, a little bit of lemon. Trader Joe's has a really good salad dressing that they were out of stock of. It's Green Goddess salad dressing. That's really good. Anyway, I am going to pop this in the refrigerator, and believe it or not, I will probably eat this entire thing for dinner. All right, I am rapidly losing daylight, so let's add up the protein so far. Breakfast was 32 grams of protein, lunch 18 grams of protein, and like I said, dinner will be a whopping 36 grams of protein. Now, if I'm hungry after dinner, I might have, I don't know, some berries and yogurt for another about 10 grams of protein for a grand total of at least 95 grams of protein, which is way more than I was getting before I started paying attention. Not to mention tons of fiber, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and healthy fats. Now, if you are vegetarian or vegan, make sure to check out Claudia Glows. She is vegan and she has done some really inspirational videos where she got way more than 100 grams of protein on a completely vegan diet with tons of really amazing recipes. I will link her channel and her videos in the description box below. And please share your go-to healthy meals so we can all inspire each other. And with that, have yourself a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in my next video.